Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Dr. Kawana D. How's everybody doing? I know we just had our live on Friday, but today is going to be a very special bonus day. So I'm excited because you guys know I consider myself to be a wealth creator. And of course, I'm always talking about entrepreneurship and how to actually build a business strategy that helps you actually to grow your wealth and to create generational wealth and all those different things. And one of the things that I hone in on about is once you make the money, what do you do with it? Like, how do you put some tax advantage strategies in place to actually continue to keep the money that you're working really hard to make, but also how do you maximize and multiply on that money? So today we're gonna, take you behind the scenes and share some tips on what you can do to actually make your money make more money for you, and some of the other tax strategies that most people are not willing to share. So today we have some special guests, Rod and Jen Spratley, who are here with us today, that's going to share with you about their expertise on making money multiply in just a single strategy. So for those of you who are creating wealth, or you're on the journey to creating wealth, or maybe you're an investor and you're looking for ways to create wealth, or you want to just learn how to keep more money in your pocket, we have a very special prize for you today. We're going to go behind the scenes and share some insights on how you can do that. So I want to bring to the stage, of course, Rod and Jen Spratley, who's going to share with you their expertise. So welcome.
Hello, and
Hello.
thank you so much, Dr. K. We really
Yeah.
appreciate the opportunity. We love talking about real estate. We love talking about what we do. Just a quick background on who we are. We're serial entrepreneurs. Then I always tell people, I joke, I've been doing it since I was about 8, 9 years old. I've always had some sort of business. Jen and I have been married for 24 years, been together for about
Awesome.
25. And when we got together, we came together as business people. She was doing real estate, I was doing construction.
I told Rod he was born with a briefcase in his hand.
I was. Matter of fact, the backstory was my grandmother used to say, she said, "You were a peculiar little boy. You used to go around with a lunchbox and put papers in it and tell everyone it was your briefcase." Yeah, that would be me. So, we 30 years we've been at the real estate investing thing. We love it. We've done a lot of other things, and we do invest in things and love multiplying our money as well. But real estate for us has been the number one top of the list thing that has done the
Yeah.
most for us and our family. So we're all things real estate. We've handled all aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
We've done subdivisions. We've built new houses. We've done multifamily.
We've done a lot.
Yeah, you pretty much name it.
Wow.
Even even did some government work for a while and did built. Matter of fact, did the president's helicopter squadron.
Super.
Did a lot of stuff, man. So worked on the White House. So we've got a deep background, but and just an absolute love for real estate, and that's why we love teaching.
And Rod's very humble because
Awesome.
we own a construction company, so we build houses as well, and we also own a real estate brokerage. I'm a licensed broker. He's a licensed Class A contractor. We married these things together, and we have touched every aspect of real estate that you can talk
Yeah.
to.
So because I know, like, of course, in these days we have accessibility to so much information that it can be overwhelming, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
like buy and flip, there's wholesale, there's all these different ways to break into real estate for anything that you want to do, right? But I know that with all of your experience, like, because you've done it all and you've come up with a simple strategy and a formula that simplifies the process for people who have money and they want to grow their money, right? So can we talk about, like, um some of that key stuff, like how a simple everyday person who's not a real estate professional, who has not don't have who's not a realtor, right? How can we
Yeah,
leverage real estate to take the money that we're growing in business to actually safeguard it? Some of those tips.
that's. I want to say this first of all. Real estate is probably the most powerful asset on the planet. I want to say that first. And in the words of Snoop Dogg, he said, land is the most powerful thing in the world. If you don't own land, you don't own nothing. He said that recently.
That's right.
But absolutely, there are so many strategies and ways. We do teach people a very simple strategy to start small, start local. but the tax strategies that are involved with real estate are like no other. There's no other asset on the planet where you can have the tax advantages that you would have as a real estate investor. And it has to do with depreciation and a lot of the other write-offs that you get as a real estate investor that you don't get with any other asset. So whereas a self-employed person might be paying 60% in taxes, as an investor, you could really get to the place where you're paying zero in taxes. Yeah. So if you're making a large bag of money as a business owner, we want to teach you how to keep that bag. And you can do that with real estate because there's so many aspects of it where you can hide that money and keep it and grow. Real estate is a wealth builder. I want to say that in a nutshell.
And the thing is, money follows assets. And there's no better asset than owning a tangible piece of property, land, real estate. Mm-hmm. I mean, you get to touch it, hold it, see it. Hey, you get to visit and write it off when you go down to take it wherever it is, wherever you may decide to purchase. Yeah. So the things that connect to it, and it really is a business. Mm-hmm. So when you tie in, as you said, your other profitable business ventures along with adding a portfolio. Mm-hmm. I mean, the two work together perfectly, and that's our history. We've done that since we started. And we're
just everyday people, just like you said, Dr. K. It's something that everyday people can do, and we like to say it's attainable, it's transferable, it's tangible, it's scalable, it's sustainable. I mean, it's non-taxable, it's non-destructible, but everybody can do it. It's ownable. That's the thing that's so amazing about this tool. We're not good with the whole stock market thing. It's just,
some people are,
but it's for us, it's a guess. I don't like to guess. I like to have full control of my asset. Mm-hmm. We can teach anyone to do this business.
Yeah.
If you're 18 years old and you can sign a contract, you can own real estate.
We say 18 to 80, but hey, you can go, if you want fast, you want to do it. If they still want to get in the game, you can do that too. It's never too late.
So, you absolutely want to hop in on Friday when we have our masterclass because we're going to teach you the 5 best ways to make money in real estate. There's 5 ways we're going to teach, and they're simple. 5 ways to make money in real estate. We're going to teach you the framework for building this massive real estate portfolio. Some may not want a massive portfolio. Some may only want a few properties that can take them into retirement and supplement their income. But we're absolutely going to tell you how you can keep the bag of money that you're making.
And we get into some things too, because we often get the question, and people get concerned about managing the portfolio. We'll deal with that. We'll talk about that as well. And because a lot of times, things that have been said about a particular industry, and like our case, investing in real estate, you'll hear a lot of little negative comments. But look, we can dispel those myths. Okay.
So here's the thing. A lot of times, people think like, because I used to think the same thing, like investing in real estate, and you have a whole concept in your mind that's completely different from reality, right? And so, like for me, now that I'm on the other side of money, that's what I call it. On the other side of money, right? So one of the things that entrepreneurs, especially small business entrepreneurs who are just coming up in the business and they're growing their business, and maybe for the first time they're making multiple 6 figures, right? So when you go from having a tax refund, right? For me, one of the things that made me think I need some tax strategies in place is when I went from being able to have refunds back to being having making millions of dollars, and now I'm owing hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Like, how do you do that? Like, what happens, right? And so when people start, what people don't know, a lot of people, everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to make a whole lot of more money, right? And everybody wants to be millionaires and multiple millionaires and all these things. But then here's the hidden thing that people don't talk about, the taxes. And so what you guys are doing is you're showing people how to leverage real estate as a way to put those tax dollars that you would normally go pay to Uncle Sam back into your home. And that's important for people to know, right? And so what are some of the things that people like when you invest in real estate? So whether it's like a small piece of land, like how does it work? Can you just talk a little bit more about how? I know we're gonna have a workshop on Friday where you're just gonna break it all down, but like, can you give some insight to how people like Donald Trump basically paid nothing to rich people, right? How does that work for everyday people?
Well, you know what, and you hit on a lot of stuff there. There's a lot and unpacking that we do, but the nuts and bolts of it are, Jen mentioned it. real estate is one of the only things. There's other things that you can get passive income from, but real estate is one of the only things that offers you the depreciation. There's other things that you can buy as business owners that will depreciate, but real estate is like the holy grail. Okay. And when we talk about Donald Trump, and everybody saw the videos, he wrote off $916 million or dollars in taxes, and people say, well, he didn't pay any taxes, and folks were all upset. Don't hate the player. You got to get mad at the game. Look,
you got to get in the game, right?
Get in
the game.
Get in the game if you want to get mad. The thing was, what he did is legally allowed. And here's what we often tell people: the tax code is roughly, and we're not tax accountants, but you got to learn what you need to know. Roughly 1,600 pages, and really only less than 3 or 4% of it is geared around some sort of penalty. The vast majority of the rest of the tax code is telling you what you can legitimately do to get a write-off, and it's written for business owners. So most of the folks that follow you and us, they're business owners, and a lot of times business owners just don't know. The information's been kind of not necessarily readily available, so you do have to go out and seek it out. That's what we've done over the years, and we've laid out. Look, we've had many years that we paid zero. Now,
so cool.
Now, it's a cool thing. Now, Jenna, tell you, I get absolutely I'm obsessed with it, okay? Because I'm like, I like to know that money's handled well. And if money's not being handled well by a government, a business, or any other organization, then you don't want to put anything in it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our debt, national debt, is soaring. We've got a lot of other things going on. So you got to learn how to manage and keep your money.
Right.
Because we can do better with it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to partner with the government, and they will allow you tax write-offs for the things that they want. They benefit from this, right? So they need.
I like the thing that you said. You got to partner with the government, right?
Yeah.
And they will allow you not only tax write-offs, but of course, I teach how to partner with the government with contracting, like providing.
There you go.
Exactly.
Right? So they will allow you $1 million checks and hundreds of $1,000s in checks and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
The whole thing about partnering with the government, that's a huge concept, right?
Huge. I mean, think about it this way too, right? How many assets can you own that you can depreciate over a 27.5-year period? Because that's what you're allowed with residential real estate. With commercial real estate, it's 30-some years of depreciation that you're allowed. 39 years of depreciation that you take every year. You take a piece of it every year. But then there's something called bonus depreciation, which is super cool because it really pushes things forward and allows you to accelerate a lot of depreciation up front. And we can't go into all the details about it, but this is stuff that Donald Trump did. Imagine now he owns multiple, apartment buildings and hotels and all this. So we're talking billions of dollars that can be written off just from the depreciation strategy alone. But imagine this, you have an asset, right? It's appreciating in value every year. Now, over the years, you've seen a real estate appreciate.
Yeah.
Even since you were a little girl, you probably, if you go back to look at the house that you lived in when you were young, the house that I lived in was worth $17,000 back then. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what
but now that house is worth almost $1 million. So you can see the appreciation in value.
Yeah.
You get the appreciation, but the government allows you to depreciate it. So you can depreciate the asset,
and get
but it's appreciating in value.
Come on, that's a win-win.
Isn't that amazing?
So I mean, that's crazy because you don't think about that because
you don't think about it.
I depreciate a house that's now worth $1 million. I bought it for $17,000, right?
Yeah.
That's
But what adds to it even more is the little piece that Jen threw in, which is some of the other things we get into. You actually get to depreciate, but you also get to still, as a business, you still get to write off any repairs, write off your expenses. When you got to travel to check on the property, all those things are legal, legitimate tax deductions while you're still getting the other two things. So I mean, so much. It's like,
but wait, I have one other thing. We got to share this. So remember when I told you the property appreciates in value, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess who's paying down the debt on that property? You have a loan on it, right? Which you absolutely want to do because real estate is leverageable. You want to leverage that asset. I mean, you're getting a loan on using other people's money. So it's appreciating in value. The loan is being paid down by who? The tenant. You're not paying off that loan.
Right.
The tenant is paying off that loan. So in between there is something called equity.
Yeah.
You're making me go into the class right now, Don.
You gonna say that we're gonna say the class for Friday, so y'all want to.
But we'll give them some more.
But But that's a tax strategy.
one
Yes, it's
strategy.
about
Right
tax
there.
strategy. That's a tax strategy
Right.
because you can pull that money out and it's not taxable.
Right. And that's a
Wow.
whole other game. We get with that. We'll have to drop you into a whole 45
Look,
minutes.
every time I
for
talk
that.
about
Yeah.
real estate, I want to
Yeah.
leave and go buy some more. I'm like,
I'm trying to figure out because so me and my husband, we've invested in, and I know a few entrepreneurs or CEOs that have invested in some real estate, but we have not understood the real estate game. We just
there you go.
invested in it for the purpose of passing it down for generational, wealth or whatever. Now we're passing down assets, but you're saying there's a lot more that you can extract.
Oh my
from
goodness.
that.
100%.
And
100%.
you just hit
I
another
love it.
category. You're talking about the generational wealth piece. You're talking about, we talk about this all the time, that the word says that you should pass down an inheritance for your children's children.
Yeah.
That's your grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things that I read just recently, especially in certain communities, wealth or the even generated wealth won't last over 2 generations. So if you became extremely wealthy, passed it down to your children, it is a good possibility their kids could not be wealthy. And that's a tragedy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And because, growing up the way that I did with being kind of poverty here and being down here, it's an important thing to figure out a way to build a legacy plan.
Right.
And wealth generation through real estate,
Yes.
you get to benefit and you still get to pass it on like the Rockefellers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
you get to put that thing and go 10, 20, 30 generations and still have the wealth, and you
100%.
benefited the entire time you were here
100%.
off of it, and you still left.
100%.
And
again, it's so attainable.
And
You
you
know?
all, like, I know you specialize in that, like that knowledge of expertise, that area of expertise. Like, how do you really will it over to where they're not fumbling?
Yeah.
They're not fumbling like the fortunes. Like
we have a whole piece that we go through that kind of literally covers each one of these and breaks it down into steps, and to include how to get the people you need to assist you in putting it in place.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that we found early on when we started, it was hard for us to go find people.
Mm-hmm.
Now things have changed some now, and it's a little easier because of the age of the internet and the whole social media piece that's available now. You can meet people and not even be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But when we started, we didn't really have that, and a lot of times we would look for people to give us, these nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
We would search out. We would go. I mean, I can't tell you how many.
We wish we had us when we were young.
We went to more seminars because back then it was a seminar. I mean, Carlton sheets. We've been everywhere.
Auctions.
But we had no place that put it all in one spot, like what we've taken with what we've got and condensed into. This will give you the whole layout to show you how to do it.
This is so awesome. I love it. I love it.
Right now, don't you?
It makes me want to think about, like, what do I need to buy next? Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to real estate, I know there's all different types of real estate. Of course, there's commercial real estate, there's land, there's all different types of houses. There's like single family, there's multifamily, there's duplexes, quadplexes. Like, is there a better starting place, or is there a place where people who are making a certain amount should do first, or should go first?
I think so. I mean, and you're right. Certain amount. Maybe if somebody has multiple millions of dollars, they may want to.
They could do something. It depends on the person.
Take a bigger leap than we teach. But going back to that person that is an everyday person, right? That may not have millions of dollars. Our advice is always to start small and start local. Because literally you can start, we teach you the stack strategy.
Right.
You can start small and make a plan that every year you're going to add to that portfolio. And I'm telling you, over a very, very short period of time, you're going to see all of these different aspects of real estate just sort of compound and blow up. So, and even if you are making multiple millions of dollars, you still want to understand the business. Going back to your comment earlier about, we bought it, but we really don't get it. We don't understand it. So you might want to start small enough to where you can see the whole cycle of the transaction, understand the assets and the benefits of ownership of real estate, and then you can massively scale it as fast as you want to. Start small, start local, even manage it yourself. A lot of people say, I don't want to manage it. I don't want to work with toilets and whatever. You need to understand this asset and not have somebody else manage your asset and come to you and say, we can't do this and that. You can say, no, I've done that. I know how this is done. Right. So you have to have that education. If you're going to handle this asset, which could be an extremely powerful one, you have to have the education in order to manage that and grow that portfolio. Start small, local, get you a good tenant. We teach people how to find a good tenant. Don't just put anybody in your place, right?
Right.
Find a good tenant and learn how to manage the property. Management of real estate is critical. You buy an asset, you put somebody in it, you turn it over to somebody to manage it, and they're not a good manager. You wouldn't even know if they're a good manager, not because you've never done it.
And the reality is many people that are hired to do property management by property management companies don't own property.
Oh, that's so true.
They don't own real estate.
So
they were hired on, and they hired them at a fairly low wage to come in and take care of your $1 million piece of property.
That's right. That's right.
So
true.
What we do, and one of the things that we understood early on was, and the other thing, I got to deal with this toilet thing. We hear more comments about a toilet. You want a toilet keep you away from $1 million?
We have never had anybody call us about a toilet.
No,
maybe once.
No, we hear it all the time. People seem to like to throw out. Someone called me about fixing the toilet. Look, I will not let a toilet stop me from $1 million. If you let a toilet stop you from $1 million, multiple millions.
Absolutely not. So that's the thing is like, okay, so just for my my example of like my own personal real estate investment experience, like of course we've acquired assets and we've invested in assets that have made some passive income. But what I'm learning is that there are some tax strategies that we've missed out on the opportunity to take full advantage of. But the other thing that like what you're talking about, as far as like having the experience of actually managing, so you can have that experience before you outsource that work. Like my husband, of course, we've managed tenants, and it could be a headache. You know what I mean? So it's you get the rent, but it comes with it can come with a headache, and so there has to be. I mean, and I'm pretty sure you guys are the experts in this area, and this is why I love talking to subject matter experts, because you can't not know it. You cannot know everything in every area. You have to leverage other people's knowledge and skill sets. So I'm not a realtor. I don't know everything about real estate, but I do know that real estate is a part of that wealth thing that you need to have, right? Right? I know that part, right? But I know like behind the scenes, like, is there like, and you're probably going to talk about this again in the cash flow, Gov Con Cash Flow workshop that's happening this Friday. If you guys are not registered for that yet, so click on actually, I don't know if you can click on the link, but go to the website, govconcashflow.com to get yourself registered so that you too can learn. Because many of you are here because you want to know how to create more wealth and how to unleash abundance in your life. You have to know this stuff, and it's better to know it from the people who are doing it, right? Because that saves you years and decades of time. We're talking about 30 years plus of experience right here, and you can learn that, in this workshop. You can learn the top things that you need to know about expanding upon your wealth. And so my question is, where I was going with this is, so, we have these headaches of dealing with tenants and stuff like that. At what point do you graduate? Like, is there a certain like blueprint that I know you guys have a blueprint of, like, to tell people by the time you hit this amount or whatever, or maybe after this amount of time frame, you should be thinking about outsourcing the property management?
The interesting thing is, and this is kind of case by case. Here's the thing. Some people get into it, Dr. K, and this is what we find. They get into it, and it's kind of like, I don't know, eating sweets. They just love it. They don't. Some people get into it and they want to do it. They really like the
like,
process.
I got this.
They like it. They feel very comfortable in it. There's some advantages to that for an individual that makes a decision that they want to come over and become a real estate professional, which we talk about. Okay, there's some additional incentives there, but they come on, they get in it. And for those people, we can easily teach you how to scale. And we'll drop this one on you. We did tell you who we were and what we do, but we have properties all up and down the East Coast, and we manage all of them. So we manage every property that we have in our portfolio: commercial, residential, single family, multifamily, short-term rental, all of it. We manage all of it.
Mid-term rental.
Now we do have some help. We got particular people we bring on for different things, but we got a process. So we put all of our stuff. We made a process. Our tenants know what to do. Our tenants don't call us if they have an issue. There's an app. They have something. They know the process. They know what to do. If there's an emergency, they know what to do. They know what to do if it's something that just needs to be addressed.
Right.
Then they have all that is a process, and we respond. We take care of it. Our tenants, all of our tenants are great. We have very, very good tenants. Very, very rarely do we have people that either don't pay or slow pay. Most of our tenants, 95% of them, are right on point and have been for decades.
And that has to do with the screening process, and that comes with our property management model that we teach. There is a strategy to doing it, and we've seen people fail with that strategy, and they constantly have nightmares. They're constantly having problems with their tenants. You could probably count on one hand the number of times we've had a problem tenant in all the years that we've been real estate investors. But to answer your question, it's sort of, like you said, case by case.
Case by case.
You might say, okay, I did one property, I'm good, I'm ready to turn this thing over, okay? Or you might say, you know what, I actually want to start a property management company and then become a real estate professional, which brings you all kinds of other benefits.
Yeah.
So amazing.
No, one caveat to that, because there is a difference. As a owner, you and your husband as property owners, you have the right to manage your own property. There's no requirement that says, there's no law written that says you have to have a property manager, because you happen to own that asset.
Yeah.
And if it's your asset, you're very capable of managing it yourself as long as you do it properly. That's why you get the benefit. For others, they'll say, I really just don't want to manage it. And we deal with that. We can show you how to get a good property manager. There's a process for that. Okay, because you can't just get any property manager.
That's right.
So
That's so true.
Right.
So we have a question. Denise had a question about multifamily properties.
Multifamily?
I don't know. It says, do you do multifamily, or does your expertise include, or the workshop, maybe you're going to talk about multifamily?
We do. We hit the range, and we own multifamily. And multifamily is great. It depends on where you buy.
We had a multifamily building in a whole other state that we managed from here.
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama. Actually. Yeah.
Wow.
It would be multifamily. And it depends on her. She didn't elaborate on her question, but yes, to answer her question, yes, we do.
Yep.
I'd like to know at some point, maybe she can share to what level she wants to own multifamily. Some people do syndication where they jump in with other people and own a piece of multifamily. Some want to buy it themselves, manage it themselves, or they may want to turn it over.
Right.
Absolutely. You can make a ton of money in multifamily. You can make a ton of money in single family. Listen, you've seen these big banks, these big hedge funds, they're going around the nation.
They're scooping
up single family houses. Follow the money.
Yep.
It's not all in multifamily. Although multifamily, you got your one roof and all the people under it, and so you got one asset with multiple people and multiple doors. But don't sleep on single family. They're going around scooping up all kinds of single family property.
And anytime large hedge funds do anything, you better pay attention.
Right.
And they've been doing it for years now. We often list property here, and we get offers from hedge funds.
Yeah.
We get offers. They'll just send an offer. We'll give you X amount of dollars. We'll close in a week, blah, 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 blah. And they just send it. No real estate agent, no anybody else. They just send offers out, and they're closing buying property.
And you got to be careful too when you do go multifamily. Try not to go too luxury or too elaborate. You got to remember, when the market shifts and does what it does, people are going to downsize, and guess where they're going to go? They're going to go to the affordable houses.
Yeah.
They'll probably leave the luxury apartment buildings and go to more affordable apartment buildings. So if you're going to do multifamily, make
not low income affordable.
Right. Just affordable with a majority.
There's definitely a difference.
We're talking
he say not low income affordable housing, but affordable housing.
But there's money in that.
There's money,
and we've done that also.
It is.
So
it's funny that you like the reason why I laughed about that is because like I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and they have like all of these new development that comes up, and it says affordable housing. And me and my family, we're always like, affordable for who? Right? That's not affordable housing. It's affordable for the new rich. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the things that we like to do, and it's part of what we teach, I call it the blue collar neighborhood, the working class. We love renting, and a lot of our rental is for the working class. They're the ones that make the economy go around. They're the ones that work in the shipyards and the factories and working at the Walmart warehouse and all these places. And look, they've got great jobs. They got decent benefits. They're consistent. They pay.
field.
and and they appreciate a
And they're
good place
great
to stay.
tenants. Mhm.
That's good.
Okay, and
That's
so we
good.
make our places good places to stay. We attract the best of that group. We do things like we stage our rental property.
Mhm.
We're probably one of the few companies that do that.
Yeah.
But we cast vision for them.
Yeah.
Because just
Yeah.
because it's a small place, when we finish laying it out, they're like, "Wow, I didn't think you could put that in here."
Mhm.
That's
We
good.
want you to do it.
It's so cool too. Real estate is one of the only assets where you can actually add value to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can find a property that needs work, add
Mm-hmm.
value to that property, and raise the value of the property. You can't do that with a piece of stock. You can't add value to it,
To a
to
stock,
anything
right?
else.
Yeah.
But real estate, it's a
That's
value
super
add
cool.
kind of play that you can add to. And we love those because Rod is such a good builder, contractor. Some of the stuff we bought, most people probably wouldn't touch it. But when we're done with it, come on.
We just have we got an eye for it. I mean,
That's our strategy.
actually,
Right.
and I would probably call it a gift. As an artist has a gift with a paintbrush, I have a gift with buildings. I mean, I can look at buildings, doesn't matter what kind, commercial, residential, industrial. It could be a hospital. I've worked on those too. It doesn't matter what kind of building. I can look at it and I can just see things in it.
Yeah.
And we
That's
use
good.
it.
And
That's
then when
good.
he's done, I stage and decorate it, and it's off the market just like that.
So there's buy and sell, buy and hold, there's invest for rental property. There's all these different strategies. What are some of the things that like the top things that we're going to talk about at the workshop that you guys are going to do a deep dive in?
Well, like I said, we're going to teach you the 5 best ways to make money in real estate, because people think there's only the one way, but there's really 5 ways, right? We can, if you want, show how much time we have and how much stomach people have, or how much they can tolerate, because we don't want to overwhelm people with this amazing asset. But we're going to teach you the framework for building a portfolio. So if you want just one piece of real estate, that's fine, but we'll teach you the framework for building a portfolio, and we'll teach you the 5 best ways to earn money, and we'll teach you some tax strategies as well. Now, we can go into the different types of, what word do I want to use? You just mentioned buy and hold, fix and flip, short-term rental. There's a BRRRR strategy, which is to buy it, renovate it, rent it, refinance it, and repeat. The BRRRR strategy, powerful.
Okay.
We never like to sell our real estate because you don't have to, right? You can get the money out of it. Most people say, I want to sell it, I want to flip it and get the money out. Well, guess what? You can keep it and still get the money out of it, right?
Tax-free.
Still have that asset, right? And still have it appreciate in value over years. There's just so many ways that real estate can build wealth for you and your family. And it's such a simple tool. I should say it's complex,
but it can be simplified.
Exactly. And that's what we do.
So let's talk. Definitely, we're gonna talk about the BRRRR thing. I want to learn about the BRRRR thing on Friday.
Gotta get the BRRRR on.
Gotta get the BRRRR thing, y'all. So go ahead and get yourself registered. GovConCashflow.com is this Friday. What time is it? I think it's 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get yourself registered because we're gonna take you behind the scenes with with Rod and Jen, of course, on their expertise in these areas, right? So many people, of course, charge hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the knowledge that you're going to learn on Friday for only $47. Get yourself registered so that you too can learn how to multiply your assets and break into this game that's going to give you more money back into your pocket. For me, especially if you're a business owner, and many of you who follow me are entrepreneurs, you want to continue to know how to make your money, make money, you have to be at this workshop. So go ahead and get yourself registered. Thank you so much, Jen and Rod, for being here and giving us some insights. I'm excited. I can't wait to learn.
We're going to go buy something right now.
Yep.
Give me some. I want to know. I want to buy with y'all. So let me know what y'all buying. I'm gonna buy.
We're going to buy something.
All right, cool, for sure. Thank you guys for being here. Now we'll see you all on Friday. All right, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.